We could say that anxiety, fear, and panic are a breath disorder. That there is a tendency in fear, anxiety, and panic to breathe, to not breathe, and shock, or in panic to. The reason we can't catch our breath in panic is because we haven't breathed out. There's no more room, and the blood is being saturated with carbon dioxide because we're not exhaling. A full breath begins with an exhale. It's one of the reasons why chanting is useful. So full exhale. Once you exhale fully, there's room to breathe. And then exhale. The relaxation or the opening occurs on the exhale. You know, like when you put down the heavy suitcases, or you put down a load you're carrying, or a relief, it's exhale. When you exhale, then there's room to breathe. So fear, as we breathe into fear and then exhale, it's not that we let go of fear, it's that we relax the tendency to hold it. It's a good example. Thank you for mentioning fear. And recognizing that the value of a full, you know, we don't have to be very, well, maybe we don't. We may not have to be very sophisticated meditators if we could learn to sigh. You know, if we could learn to sigh and let the sigh ease. And even if we just let the sigh be let the sigh be your guide. Again, it's about opening, transparentizing, giving more room, relaxing the edges, opening, those kinds of images would be the kind of images that we want to use, that we draw from the availability of space. Space is ever present. Ever present. Tarthantuku Rinpoche says, he talks about all of the activities of our daily life and all of the trials and tribulations on the planet and our daily lives, and he says, remember that the sky is always above. Just the remembering. And here, you know, the sky is such a present influence. And the sky is a local representation of the infinity of space. And space is infinite without and infinite within. So the presence, to access the freedom, the availability, the presence of space can be very liberating. Very liberating. And it's very present. So breathing as though we could breathe into the core of an emotion, the reactive me. You know what this is doing to me? You know how this is affecting me? Me is the recipient of all that stuff. And me is the reactive tendency that is usually embodied in a sensation that can be eased with breath. So this is now 1974, and a younger Hayward went on his first Vipassana retreat. And this was, I don't remember how many, I think maybe 3 or 4 days of sitting and 18 hours a day. And I thought, surely 18 hours a day for 3 days of course I'd be enlightened. So I brought a little tape recorder so I could record all my enlightenment thoughts, because I wanted to write about it. And then there was a setup there where the teacher was Ruth Dennison. Does anyone know? Anyone worked with Ruth Dennison? She, at that time, anyway, at that time she was one of the major teachers. We had an opportunity to get to meet privately with the teacher. And I didn't know at that time that you met with the teacher to discuss your practice. I thought you met with the teacher to ask the teacher a question, and the teacher was going to give you the answer. So, I didn't want to, I knew I only had a few minutes with her, and I wanted to make sure I had the right question. So, the first day, every question, during my meditation, of course, I was thinking of what I was going to ask Ruth Dennison to share with me when I got this opportunity to speak to the teacher. And it was the darndest thing. Every time I thought of a question, I thought of the answer. And I thought, gosh, it's a good thing I didn't waste that question. And I kept thinking. Along about the third day of sitting, I began to feel a tingling and a vibration, and every single portion of my skin was tingling, and I knew what the Buddha meant by impermanence. And I was enthused, and we were doing a walking meditation, and I was just tingling. And there was Ruth Dennison. And I said to her, I know what the Buddha meant. I can feel this tingling. And she said to me, you're hyperventilating. And I thought, what does she know?